Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today we're going to discuss the India stand position on the Taliban Afghanistan and how just today we have meeting chaired by our External Affairs Minister, Dr. S. Jaishankar, and 31 parties joined in this participated in the meeting and discuss about the Afghanistan issue and as well the Taliban issue as well. But we'll say the how just all are firm and united on this view. No accept to the Talibani terrorism at any cost. But all countries just watching as G7 has already made the resolution. And but latest news is that 1 hour before there is a blast at Kabul airport, 13 people killed. That is called the suicidal attack. And US citizen also killed. British also killed, and this is all the reports are coming how and why that this happened and what's the reason. But according to Taliban sources, they are just apprehended. The IS role may be there. It's also ridiculous. And already Taliban leaders said, I already apprehended, just said to US, it may be happen. So it is also a ridiculous statement how they are going and why and what for. So we'll discuss also just in this meeting today in India. About 15,000 people interested to come India, and just a moment, and 800 already evacuated from there, 200 already waiting for their turn at the Kabul airport, and 1650 already applied for by the online. This is the data already given by the whatever official sources. So 15,000 is not a small number. Only 800 has come. So we can understand the situation and position of the country. Sorry, and US today also the bomb blast on the Italian plane. So this is also not the good scene. Whatever they promised, Taliban will not do any type of this type of activities, blast and all. But who did it? It is also a matter of now discussion and all that in the investigation. So today I'll discuss on this issue. We have only 35 minutes and I'm already late. So no issue, but we'll maintain our time discipline. So we have today Vandana Jhingan from USA, Chicago, senior journalist. We have Anita Choudhary, senior journalist, and from India, and Subodh Kumar ji, just a political analyst from India. And so I start from Anita ji. Today is just how the position was, how to discuss the issues chaired by Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister of India, and what is the India stand on this all Afghanistan issue, and how they have now.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. India's stand is very clear from day one. India has cleared that we don't believe in any kind of any kind of terrorism. Terrorism has not a good or bad definition. Terrorism has only one definition, that is called the Dahshatgardi, the terror attack, the bomb, weapons, and the loss of human life. This is the only definition that India believes. Not only for this incident, but from day one, especially when the Modi government has taken charge as a government of India, from that day only, on any kind of world forum, you will see that any kind of meeting, India has always raised the voice against the terrorism and urged the world, urged the all world community, the powerful communities, that please get together. The whole world is suffering from this virus that is called terrorism. And we should get united. We should frame a concrete definition of terrorism, and we should not go in that differentiation, that is, there is a good terrorism or bad terrorism. As per US, we all know that on that time, Haqqani group was a bad terrorist group, and Taliban was always a good terrorist group. For Al Qaeda was bad terrorist.
that was earlier earlier
That
definition.
on that time, I'm not talking about today. On that time only, when the Modi government has raised the voice, on that time only, what kind of definition? Al Qaeda was a bad terrorist group, and Taliban was a good terrorist group, and they have given the charge to eliminate the terrorism from Central Asia to Pakistan, which is already an epicenter of terrorism, the figure, the face of terrorism, the producer of terrorism. We all know that what is the role of Pakistan in world terrorism and that kind of incident. So now we are witnessing all the in yesterday only the
Yeah.
G7 countries has a very important meeting on
Day before yesterday, 24th
Afghanistan and
August.
Taliban issue. And what was
24th
the
August.
concrete result? Only two lines, that they were already singing that song, that we will wait and watch, and as per the act of the Taliban, we will take any further decision, and we will frame any our policy. So this was the statement earlier also and yesterday also, and now the wait and watch result that I have shared a visual with you. What is
Oh
the
my God.
result of that wait and watch policy? 13
Uh,
important human life has
I can't
lost,
show the
and
visuals.
many
I'm
more
so
has injured. The Kabul airport
so
is
in
now
so
full of
inhuman visuals.
bloodshed.
Yeah.
Two human bombing has done over there, and the whole world is waiting and watching. But India today also, yesterday also, day before yesterday also, and from day one also, India was very clear that we don't believe in any kind of terrorism. We are against of terrorism. We don't believe in any kind of dahshatgardi. We are against
Yeah.
of Talibani Atangwadi kind of any government. This is
Okay.
the stand of India, and I am very proud that today there was the all party meet, and all party
Yeah.
has supported government of India and said that yes, we
We
are with
united
you.
the government. Yeah, we united the Modi government. So, Vandana ji, just whole world, whatever I just reading and seeing and watching, all are just focused on the America. Why, what, why America done this? Why America should, why not America should just, why just lift the all things? And just today, also just the blast, U.S. citizens killed. Just you see 1 hour before. So inhuman act. Why not for? How just you analyze the whole situation?
See, Namaskar and good evening to everybody. 20 years, 4 presidents, more than $2 trillion, soldiers died. What did Americans, as me being taxpayer, gained out of it, to be honest? Let's see from my perspective. We
Yeah.
are at loss. America, but as being an American citizen, whatever has been the decision, as a person, I am not very happy about that, very honest, because we have become a joke in front of the whole world, which is, and I always say that nobody is big, nobody is small in today's time. It is the actions. But 20 years of teaching them, I was what America, and there is so much going on in US itself. Like when we're talking about like it's the same way. First of all, congratulations to Bharat that all the parties have come together and consensus has been built at least on this issue, which was never there before. Like they've been always
Yeah.
bashing, and same thing should be coming. It should come now because the decision has already been taken by this Biden administration. And we are seeing a lot of repercussions from the other side of it, from the previous president and its supporters. But the fact is, how could, because overnight, like, this thing has not happened. There'll be an inquiry made to this, to be honest, like what has gone in this. You have trained those soldiers with most sophisticated equipments they have. Even India may not have, Indian army may not have it. And what did they do? They just surrendered. Means like, and then they joined the Taliban. So was it like going on before? So the world has to come together. I agree with Anita ji, as you said, because it is not about, because Bharat is close to Afghanistan when we talk about the geographic point of it. America is way too far. But when it is like we are just seeing it, welcoming the Afghani refugees because an compassion lies. There is one refugee who came to Bharat in Calcutta. The very first day he comes, he requests is, and then he is talking about Taliban. So those kind of narratives which are being set up, there has to be all the nations' governments. I mean, like, it is not about India or America. They have to have a clear line. Whom should they be accepting? Because we don't want wrong people to come in this. And as I mentioned, you talked about America. Personally speaking, like I just mentioned it to you, this is like, what all has happened. It has been, because it was to happen today or tomorrow or yesterday, but it has happened, and it is like really, still, it's beyond, like, every day, every moment, and every second. And we are still losing our people over there. And because 31st of August, it is so soon. And Taliban के लिए तो पहले भी कहा था, हाथी के दांत खाने के और दिखाने के और. Would you expect
Yeah.
from them? Pigs will never change. Thank you.
Suji, just how we see just here the two just how just see the situation just the Taliban and just India stand as today the all party meeting held and then very respective manner and all are united on the stand with the government of India and the Modi government. So, but after that, just see the other uh, uh, side pictures and evening bomb blast at Kabul airport. So, in Yemen, 13 people killed. This is not a good news for any country or any part of the world. Unmute yourself, please.
Is it okay? Can you hear, hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
I agreed with the previous speaker about the true $1 trillion expenditure and investment in the United States of America. But America has not done any charity with the Taliban or in Afghanistan. It's America who initiated all these kind of the facade in Afghanistan when the Soviets were there. So Taliban was trained by this one, the Tora Bora. Everybody knows when they found the barren land, then the Al-Qaeda entered and they made the training center in Tora Bora. So later on the Tora Bora was bombarded by that. And in the 5 years of the gap after the Cold War situation, it was nothing inside this one. So my question is, then America who initiate this kind of, and they same things with the Vietnam. If you look at the Vietnam War was all the same things. They have initiated, and in the between, they have gone. I agree with her also that it was in a committee report. An internal committee report has said that the Taliban is the Afghani army is incapable of taking care of the Talibans. But the fact was that the Ghani didn't pay the salary of the Afghani armies. They were unpaid for the last 6 months. They were not getting any salary. So for them, the loyalty was moving towards their own country fellow. It happened during the freedom struggle also. A lot of the army people, they joined the Indian freedom struggle, right? So this is a history. The army is not from the away. My question is, the Taliban has done the whatever they have done, and America has gained one after another with this outcome. First, the book called written by the Samuel Huntington It's called the class of the civilization, in which he proves that the classes is going to be happen between these two communities. Taliban has proved that. Taliban has, the credit goes to Taliban. Taliban has redefined the Islam. Taliban has everybody is going to showcase whenever they say that no, Islam is a religion of the peace. They say this is your peace. Islam respects the woman. They give the right in the inheritance property. This is the property, and you are giving the rights, right? So this way, the Taliban has the redefined the Islamic after, because in the 2023 the 100th year of the sanction on the Turkey will be lifted. So the Turkey is free to establish the the Ottoman Empire, and Turkey has already converted a church into the mosque, right? So this
Yeah.
kind of the communalism is going on in
Istanbul. Yeah.
Istanbul.
Yeah.
So
So
if
Sophia,
you look at
Sophia, yeah. Sophia, yeah.
so look at this situation where they have done the great work. And secondly, the Afghanistan is, I'm taking you the geographical history, the geography. The
No, geography we
Tajikistan,
will take later.
no,
Geography
no,
actually,
no.
yeah.
I'm just the economic interest. Afghanistan is full of the minerals, billion-dollar minerals. Only because of the infrastructure, nobody is going to extract the minerals. India is in having expertise, China is in having expertise, and Russia is in having expertise, and America. Russians, they didn't give this know-how to the Americans in 20 years' time, because the Russians already know, they mapped out this one. Nothing is going to happen. You should not worry about that. The Russia and China, Putin is already had 2 rounds of the talk with the Modi ji, right? And the China, and we should not take the China and Russia. They are the good friends. They are not good friends. The both of them,
They
all
can't.
three of them,
Yeah.
they are going to interfere in the Afghanistan affairs, and they are going to interfere in that. And Russians will really help them. And already in Tajikistan, the Tajikistan know that through this route they are going to India is already having the airport in the Tajikistan. So this is my position, and I really because the Taliban has redefined the global politics today. Bad Taliban, good Taliban. These Talibani people are not going to fight in Al Qaeda, and they are not going to fight in Jammu and Kashmir. This is escalated way. They don't know, they have so much guns and everything. Are they able to use it? They are not able to use it. And the airstrike, the India and the Russia and China, they all have the airstrikes capability. China is going to already invested into that. So the Taliban has really redefined the global politics in 2021. Let's take the enjoy the situation. I'm happy
Okay.
with it.
Alok ji, just Sudhir ji just saying the Taliban has redefined the global politics with the all economically and politically and geographically and all way. So whatever they are doing, how the America behaving, how the China behaving, and Pakistan just trying to dance and with the help of all, because the Pakistan is bigger now. They have no funds, no
And
something.
internally, the Modi ji will not get any opposition on the CA or
Okay,
NRC.
okay, that is different
CA.
issue. We'll talk later. So, but this is a public
Okay.
platform. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So Alok ji, Alok Lahad ji is from Spain. Just how just you analyze situation now after this bomb blast, and what is the behavior of Taliban? What were they are claiming themselves? And India stand, I already know. Just wherever the terrorism with the Taliban, and where India will not support.
I mean, I'm not surprised. When I heard about this bomb blast, I was not surprised at all. There were big gunfires, and 200 people had already been killed. And they're kind of trying to paint a pink picture. Even if you see like the G7 meeting which we had, a very rosy picture was being painted by everybody, almost everybody. Let's say the guys who called it was the UK, and they also they have always been hand in glove with the United States of America. I have always thought that the UK was the brain and United States of America was the arm. But this time, even they did not agree. And finally, it is out in the newspapers. I don't know if you've seen it in India, but in the European newspaper, it's very clear that Germany has gone ahead and negotiated with Taliban. that they will take longer to gather their people and their military men and their diplomats. And I think they are dealing directly with Taliban, which means that the leadership which was there with the Americans, it is no more there. So, like we've been talking about this, who is in control? Who is in command? Are the Talibanis in command? And then this idea floated, and it was basically done by the Pakistani intelligence that this Taliban 2.0 is different from the Taliban 1. They are not, like such ruffians. They are different type of Talibans. And there were certain idiots in the European press and world over who wanted to, gulp this in. And then they say they wanted to paint a different picture saying, yes, this Taliban is different. How can they be different? What is amazing for me is in 20 years, we all know that, Taliban was, or at least this is what is told, that they were dependent on the drug. So in 20 years, American soldiers, and not only American soldiers, all the NATO forces and all the other forces, they were unable to burn their fields. I mean, obviously drugs, you don't need technology to dig in petroleum so that you can take it out of the womb of Mother Earth. It doesn't happen like this. We all know it comes from plants, and it is pretty easy. You could have, simply burnt away those plants. Now, the excuse for this, if I tell you, it's so hilarious. They said, no, they didn't want to harm the farmer economy of Afghanistan. Come on. Are they not doing it in Colombia? Are they not doing it in other places where they've given money to burn down their fields? Haven't they done it? So what is amazing is, is this intelligence failure? Why didn't they do it in 20 years? In the 20 years, they could not know where this finance is coming from. But I feel that, Talibanis were on the run. And suddenly you just take and give the victory in their hands and make them, kind of invite them to form the government. What happened to the government which you placed? Okay, the army failed because they didn't pay. There was a corrupt man there. But the whole government cannot be corrupt. We are seeing right now that there are people who are thinking Afghanistan. They are thinking democracy. They are thinking a different lifestyle, which is very, very different from, the system which the Talibanis want to introduce. In fact, today I was seeing a bite from a American journalist, and she was interviewing. She was a lady all dressed in black and head covered, everything which we expected this change to happen. And she asked them, so ladies will be given, one will given the liberty, and they've always been saying yes, it will be given. So her question was, will they be given voting rights? And they started laughing. Now, do you think it is laughing matter in 21st century women will not have voting rights? So what are we trying to impose? Is America and the democratic world trying to get half the world into medieval ages? I mean, medieval ages also, there was a king who used to do justice. This is incredible. Like, you put people in line and you start firing bullets into their heads. Is this what we are looking at? So I think it is not so simple as we are thinking. We are analyzing here situations, but there is a deeper conspiracy into this. It cannot have happened. This is absurd. So I think we need to, ask the American governments and the leaders to write a book on how to destroy countries. We've seen this happen in Iraq. What has happened? It was a prosperous country. Okay, they had their own lifestyle. They had a guy who was half mad. Okay, fine, I take that also. But what happened to that country? We destroyed it. Syria, it has happened. Now it is Afghanistan, it has happened. So there is something more than what we see on the forefront. I think there is a deeper conspiracy into it, and we are unable to decipher it. I think we are taking it too lightly, too simply. And one bomb blast there, 20 people died. Nobody cares about them. So there is something deeper, which I think we are missing.
So you think that the Saddam Hussein was in half mad?
I mean, he did things which were, which a normal person would not do, and not especially a person who is leading a country as a president.
No, what did he do? No, please, because I'm making a statement against the Saddam Hussein. He was a non-believer. His son name is, both the son's name is Uday and Kush. He was the most secular leader, and he was a trap. Where is a weapon of
No,
mass
I'll
destructions?
tell you what
There is a
happened
no
wrong.
weapon. No, no. There
Okay.
is a no weapon of mass destructions. You found it in the Iraq. Number one.
No, no,
Number
I
two.
agree with
It
you.
was
What is the?
again a conspiracy against Saddam Hussein.
I
Yes, right.
agree. I
I
agree.
agree. I agree. The
Yeah.
It was a huge conspiracy. Remember
I
the
think
12 American soldiers who was in the guard of the Saddam Hussein, and go through their books. They have cried on that time when he was hanged, and they had written all the truth that it was not fair. Whatever happened with the Saddam Hussein, he was
I'm not.
such a human. He was a great human, as per
That
them.
was that was the only time Iraq had a secular government.
Yes.
When Saddam Hussein was
Agreed.
there, I called him half mad because there was no reason why he fired Scud missiles at Israel. Israel was not a party to it anyway. So that is when he did that. That day, I had given a verdict that something is going to happen. I mean, you
So,
just
so
when he did
now
the
turn.
quest,
So
The
now turn to Anita.
second on the line of that, the Colonel Gaddafi. The Colonel Gaddafi, the whole crisis
Libya,
was for the oil, Libya, right? Colonel Gaddafi
exactly,
was an Colonel Gaddafi
And
was
what
not
happened to
only
Colonel Gaddafi? What happened to
his
Colonel
parallel
Gaddafi?
bomb,
Huh?
his parallel
Worse than
bomb.
Saddam Hussein. Worse than Saddam Hussein.
So we no. Actually, we all have to understand the politics, the new
the
new
Colonel
global
Gaddafi. He wrote
politics.
the parallel book called the Green Book, which was a parallel to the Quranic
No,
instructions,
Suboji,
right?
Suboji,
So he was
Suboji.
also the quite secular guy, Colonel Gaddafi, living with the
Suboji.
just 1 second.
Please.
Living with the multiple women, that is a great tradition of the polyandry. Polygamy is a great tradition of the Islam. So if he did it, and the earlier also they did it. So nothing, that cannot be the point of discussion. Even the women, they don't want to discuss. Only we Indians and Americans, they are the feminists. They want to discuss all these things about that. The polygamy is in a part of their culture. They don't mind. They say Allah ka diya hua hai.
Oh, okay. So actually, just today we have seen one poster. Just I would discuss related to India. So you are in the India border. Welcome. No Sharia, no anything, and you are out of 1,400 years ahead, not the back to the 1,400 years back. So this is a modern ways to understand the how the India is going on, world is going on. Anita ji, what is the meeting discussion on how the India stand? You already narrated and already shared. So how just see the total scenario today? Uh, as Subodh ji said and Alok ji said and Vandana ji also said. So out of all, they bomb blast and killing the human for any caste religion. Is it uh, justified for any country, for any community, for any organization?
Look, it's a Washington Post tweet, and Pentagon has confirmed that
Yeah,
American has also died in this
killed. Yeah,
bomb blast. It's
yeah,
a Pentagon report,
yeah.
and when it was happening with the Afghani normal people, civilian people. So it was part of life for the Americans, that for the whole world, in fact, except India. India was has not shut their mouth. They were not sitting at their in their drawing room and watching the TV. They were from day one doing all the evacuation, giving all the statements, working uh, forcefully, and calling for meetings that we have to do something on this crisis. This is a huge crisis. This crisis will affect the whole world. If remember the statement of Jaishankar. Jaishankar has said in UN that if even a single part, even a single corner of the world is not happy, means this whole world is not happy. Afghanistan is going through a crisis. The bloodshed is there, and we have to get united. We have to do something. we have to get united and do something. I'm not saying that American force should be there and America only should do all the things. The whole world should get united. The whole world should come together, and they should work for the peace, not for the terrorism. This is the time we are going through the pandemic period. We have already seen the how the on the road of the Italy, the people were throwing their money that we don't have the life. What will do about with this money? We have seen that money is nothing, the power is nothing, life is nowhere. You will die any moment, but it is the
without any
unity, it is
boxes,
the
without any
humanity
box.
that will save you. That has saved the human life in this pandemic also. It was also a terrorist kind of attack, and the enemy was invisible. The enemy was invisible. The whole world was the battlefield. The life was has gone, and
Yeah.
we have because of the that humanity chain, the human chain has saved what whoever is living today because of the cooperation and the
Yeah,
human touch.
that's the
We
point.
were on
That's the
social
point.
distancing, but the emotional touch was always there. आप ठीक तो हो ना, आपका सब ठीक तो है ना. That feeling, with that feeling only, the world should get united. And
So nice.
Afghanistan is going through a huge crisis. Not only Afghanistan, the Central Asia region. After this, if the Taliban will capture the Afghanistan, the Central Asia will one by one suffer from the same kind of crisis. So if the Central Asia will disturb, the America, the NATO countries, the G7, the Power Five, all will get affected. They should not forget about the 9/11. They should not forget about the bombarding in the church and in Australia.
And the
They
Paris and
should not
Belgium and
forget
everywhere.
that
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
a teacher has beheaded, has killed just because of the Allah and Huzur's cartoon. We should not forget about the incident in France. So the world should get united, and if they will not act in a proactive manner, the whole world will suffer. I'm telling you, Rakesh
Okay,
ji,
okay,
this
okay.
is not just joking. I'm telling
Yeah,
you
yeah,
that the
yeah, yeah.
whole world, the
I do
repercussion
understand.
will come, and the
Yeah,
whole world will
you are right. Yeah,
suffer.
just you talked, Anita ji. So just power of humanity and just a power of sharing and power of just for the not social distancing, social mixing also. Vandana ji, what just discuss the Anita is saying the whole world should just take the lesson from this incident today at the Kabul airport. And what a recent actually, there are so many incidents and accident we have seen, but this is recent, this one 2 hours before at the Kabul airport, and how the country and how the world should reacted. World is not reacting, and all this keeping the wait and watch. There is no value of the killing of the 13 people, either from America, either from the Kabul, either from the Afghanistan, any part of the world, in the name of humanity. What do you think? There is American
I
people
think the
also killed,
definition
British
of
also killed.
humanity should also be changed now. So painful to say that. It's not means like when you're talking about we saw what happened in 2019, the pandemic came, and yesterday there's an intelligence report the US intelligence report. Oh, the source of the pandemic is not because we are not even aware of it. We were just watching, we were discussing about dismantling Hindutva, the conference that is coming up on the 20th anniversary of 9/11, which is a totally different subject. I think we should be talking
Oh
about
yeah.
that also. So, it was very painful. It was very painful. And then when we're talking about the Taliban, what they have done, are they, this is going to be setting a precedence for others to take the powers by gun? What are we doing in today's time? We are talking about that we are in 21st century. Is it that we want our future generation to? World is with 7 billion people, to be honest. Live and let others live, because there has to be United Nations, World Health Organization, all these the world bodies, they have to redefine their role. They have to work on it, what for they were created. They just cannot be keep sitting. Me and you being a citizen and concerned human being. We are discussing at least half an hour, 45 minutes every day that you are giving your time. Alok ji. So what are they doing? Sitting on heavy paychecks of the taxpayers ultimately. The countries are. So this is very important. It is the need of the time to define how the world should be getting into, like, because when we talk about, you was just somebody, one speaker was saying, and we know that how China is, like, is very happy, gaga gaga, on all this kind of situation, because they feel that they are going to be, but Taliban is not seeing what China is doing, and China is not seeing what Taliban is capable of. So disturbing, very disturbing at this point of time. I can just say that.
So, just you already raised the point, the time to change the global politics, and change of also the redefine the humanity. How this is if the Afghans killed, okay, if Americans killed and the British killed and any Indian killed and G7 country killed, that is a very important. Why did these differences? What for? I think all human are same, color are same. What the differences? One what for?
The question is not in humanity in this century at least, and the last century also, right? If the humanity was an important issue, then there would not have been a Jallianwala Bagh. If the humanity had been the important issue, then the so many massacres happened, and till today that the England has not, like apologized to India when the England has apologized to the Australia, right? So there is no point of the discussion. Whatever the Taliban has done on the today, it's in a good news, and the good news from the peace. All these 13 people who died, their lives would really pay the big things for the whole world, because now the Taliban is inviting America to come again. It's nothing, and it's not very far away from there. Secondly, the Putin has already made a statement that we are not going to allow any Talibans to enter in the Russia, because they have their own coordinations with the Talibanese people, and they knew about that. The same Talibani, they killed Najibullah, right? Although the Najibullah ruled over the country for more than 1 year time, and they killed the Najibullah. The Indian Prime Minister, then the Indian Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, wanted to save the Najibullah, but he could not because he was in internal pressure. All these things. Yeah, and Najibullah was a communist. His whole family is still in the Asiad village. They live in an Asiad village, right? So this is the whole situation, in that the US has to intervene in this matter again. And it's not a question Americans, the taxpayers. America is making the money throughout the world because of not because of their own capabilities. They are extracting the money from the third world and developing countries also. There is no globalization. When the capital can move from the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere, you are not allowing the labor should also move from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere. You allow this kind of the things, globalization, and look at the taxpayer. How many taxpayers are living the very peaceful in the United States of America? So this is a one-sided globalization, right? You have access my data through the Visa card and MasterCard, but you are giving the 100 kind of the conditions when you provide the visa to the Indians to go to the America. So this is not a proper globalization. Number two. Number three, I'm coming to the point, the economic interest. I'm the more about the economic interest. Taliban is having economic interest, right? The secondly, the Ahmad Masood in a war front with the Saleh, right? And the world should support the Masood right now, because Masood is the only hope to bring the peace in Afghanistan. Because of the geographical locations, the Taliban could not attack in the Panjshir, because they need a very high-end aircraft, right, to attack on the Panjshir. And Panjshir cannot be the one. It was never in the history. And today also the Hind Kush was famous for that, right? Yeah. And we should take the advantage of that. India is having the airport, built the airport in Tajikistan. So the Indian airport, Tajik people and the Russians, they should all help the Masood son of the Ahmad Shah Massoud, and take out and push the Talibanis outside of this. Already this process has been going on. Because in that way, sir, I'm last point.
Actually, sir, time is going there now.
No, in the last point I am making it. In this way, we can eliminate the Pakistani from this area, and we should have the good hands with the Talibani and say, you raise the same question inside the Pakistan, we will pay you the money.
So nice. Great. So, Alok ji, how just elaborated and analyze both ji. So
no, fantastic. I mean, I 100% agree with it, with him, that the globalization is one way. We have the most brilliant minds who are the head of American, multinational companies. I'm talking about the Indian IT guys, and they have to be dying every month, every each, because B1 H1B1 visa is not being granted to them. So it is one-sided. I mean, the moment India started RuPay, how Visa and MasterCard and diners were jumping. So he's got a point there. He's very much right. I agree with him. The only point I want to add is that it should not be India's fight. Why the Afghan army did not fight? One of the reasons, apart from that, they were not getting.
They didn't get salary, sir. They didn't get salary for 6 months.
It is not just about salary. We did a program yesterday and we talked about whose war is it? Is it an Afghani war? It's a war which is created by the Americans. And it is not their war. Why should they be fighting at all? There is no motivation. But now there is a principled war. In case there is a civil war which takes place, we are talking about the Northern Alliance. I'm told that now it is not called the Northern Alliance. There's a different name would be given to it. Now there will be a war of ideology. On one side, you have the Talibani ideology. And on one side, you have the democratic forces which are uniting together. And Amrullah Saleh has already said on paper, it is on records, that he firmly believes in equality of women. He is kind of putting in the values which the democratic societies we have. I don't want to call them the Western society because India is a very big and proven democracy. So it is not that democracy comes only from the West. But this concept, if he does it, then it will be a fight between either two Afghan ideologies, like that Afghani people doing those two ideologies, and all the democratic forces and not so democratic forces should also be supporting them. When I say not so democratic forces, I'm talking about the new democracies which have come out of the debacle which happened in USSR and all that. We know the story. That's a different thing. We'll have a different call on together. But even there, the democracies are not working, but still they are democracies. The women rights are protected. In fact, I think in the Eastern European and these countries, women have a better status than in the.
We are running out of time, Alok ji. Just last.
Okay. So the final call is that it will be an Afghan versus Afghan war, but it will be on ideology. It will not be the Americans coming there and they want to push out the Russians. In case something like this happens, it should be like this. And I think all democratic forces should be supporting not the Taliban, but the Northern Alliance.
Okay, so last take by Rakesh Tiwari ji. Actually, he was so late and he was busy somewhere. So, but no issue. Just you participated, and today is India's no to Talibani terrorism. So, just to sum up, how we talk the humanity, you talk the funding, we talk about the recent bomb blast in Kabul airport. Americans also killed, and British. I think it is said that British also killed. Whatever American British actually humanity killed there. The 13 and what number was there, and from all parts of the world. So they should condemn also and are condemning also. So overall, how just you see this Talibani terrorism and Taliban saying, I was already said earlier, this maybe happen. So Ravi's comment and also showed apprehension. IS maybe take the responsibility like that. So
may I?
Yeah,
now,
please.
again, my humble apology to all the panelists and Kumar Rakesh to you too.
No, no
for a
worries,
reason.
no worries, no issue.
As I mentioned in my text to all of you, my studio is
No
getting set
problem.
up. But
No
now
problem.
coming back to the part as you mentioned, and this is the last thing when we are mentioning it about, as you said, no to Bharat has said no to Talibani terrorism. So Bharat and Hindustan is saying, and that's the firm point, and is endorsing the Northern Alliance to Saleh and to all the other Afghani people who are standing and who are fighting there. So there is no if and buts. So Hindustan and Bharat's policy, I fully, totally endorse it. There is a time comes when you say no means no. So you cannot be hanky panky with Taliban. Well, you know what? We'll accept it. So then you accept Sharia in Afghanistan. You accept everywhere. So why not wherever they go it? Or then
Yeah.
Christian rule? Why not? Then then who can ask us if people in Hindustan they say, well, we want the old way of Hindus way. So what the logic goes wherever you want to take it from here onwards. So we are living in modern world.
Tiwari ji, if they want to live in a gutter, why don't you allow them to live in a gutter?
No, sir,
Why
we
do you
will
want
not
to
allow. No, we will not allow. We are human being. If you are seeing somebody in gutter, we'll get the if the person is his mind is even
Actually, this culture comes from the Sanatana
to the
Hindu Dharma.
asylum,
That's why you are
mental
talking about that.
asylum.
Yeah.
If a human being is doing, and if some organization they are doing it because they are not even bad for themselves, they are bad for the whole society. So I'll give one last thing in it. The discussion which is happening in Canada, when people have said that, some people said that it is our choice, we don't want to have vaccination. Okay, that's fine, but you are going to spread it to other people. That's the same logic of Talibani thinking pattern. Taliban is not a name of organization. Taliban is representing a thought process, a thinking, an ideology.
The new
And
train,
this
yeah,
ideology, we have to vigorously, we have to fight it and defeat it so it doesn't rise again. It's same like, just like Nazism. When we talk about Hitler, we talk about Mussolini, and we talk about all those people who wanted to control and rule the world. This is Sharia law, where those people who are there, they want to spread it. Not you think they are going to be limited in Afghanistan? They know their next target. They're very sure within 5 years period of time. Let them do like that. Pakistan is next. Then the Hindustan. Everywhere they want to apply it, and that's so. If Bharat is saying no to Taliban terrorism, is no to Taliban terrorism or
So
any
nice.
kind of terrorism.
So nice.
Sir, as for the Sharia law, all the 57 countries,
Well,
the
we have to
practice
oppose
of
it.
Sharia
That is
law.
That is another issue.
We have to
So,
go
okay,
stand anywhere in the world.
later. We'll discuss later. That's another issue. So nice of you, all the panelists who just all the united on the same stand from the just as Anita ji and Vandana ji from USA and Alok ji from Spain, Tiwari ji from the Canada, and Suvo ji from India. So they all are united on the stand. No to Talibani terrorism. No, all are united on this theories and whatever just we condemn how does the humanity killed today evening the Kabul airport, irrespective of the caste and religion, or we should stop the Talibanization of the humanity, and that should be condemned globally, whatever, whoever, anywhere. Thank you very much, and just we'll discuss later on whatever issues are there, but from just see, share, and watch the Global Governance News TV, and we'll meet again. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.